So if you were listening, Solana left the show. It was about 2:45. He came back. He told us during the commercial break his girlfriend was stranded on 95. Her car had broken down, and it is now 10 minutes till 5. Solana has returned to the studios in El Portal. So we have a quick segment here. So tell us quickly what happened and how you were able to help.
Brother, I got underneath the hood. I mean, what do you think? Come on.
He did nothing.
You talking about getting it on with her while you were waiting for a tow truck? Is that what we're talking about here?
I found a Miami Subs grill right down the road, right off the exit. We pulled off. We parked, called a tow truck.
Well, wait a second.
Got myself
Wait a second.
Miami Subs grill, and we're good to go.
Wait. You pulled off. How did you start her car?
Yeah.
Well, how'd you get her car started?
What happened was there was a very loud noise coming from underneath the hood, and she panicked and pulled over, turned off the car. So that's why when I got 95? There, yeah, when I got there, and that's what happened, I'm like, well, why would you do that? Like, get off and whatever.
She pulled over on the 95 shoulder rather than just going to the next exit?
Well, that's what she ended up doing. She went over to the next exit, and I found her off on the next exit, and she was a block away from a Goodyear. I'm like, why wouldn't you have just gone to the Goodyear? Like, just go and ask them if they can help you out. But it turns out, like, I think something's actually wrong with her car. It's not something... I think it's something severe. Like, I think it's actually something legitimately wrong just from my inspection underneath the hood for a couple minutes.
Well, I don't understand. So you went there, so you spent a couple hours with her, you went to Miami Subs, but you didn't accomplish anything. There's something wrong with the car, and you didn't do anything.
No, I did a lot. I did a ton out there, actually. I made sure she was safe. I made sure, the situation was under control. I called AAA. We got a tow truck out there. We made sure the tow truck knew where they were going to go drop off the car. And, we fed ourselves while we waited for the tow truck.
Y'all need to talk about management of distressful situations because this wasn't done correctly.
I mean, if this is a harbinger of how you two are going to approach situations that arise in the future, you maybe like Crowder says, kind of maybe just have a family meeting and chart out, here's what we should do if something goes wrong. Like, I still don't understand. She called you because she heard a noise in her car. So you drove from Miami to Hollywood, took her to Miami Subs, and then called AAA?
Well, when you put it that way, it does sound somewhat silly.
I mean, that's not exactly like a SEAL team.
Solana, everything you did could have been done from the studio.
I agree, but when your significant other
Miami Subs, of course.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. I don't think they Uber Eats out here.
Get the curly fries. I'm sorry.
Man, those Nathan fries, though, man. Those seasoned fries. Woo! I got a fruit punch, a high C. Haven't had one of those in a while. No, but your significant other calls you in a panic. They tell you something's wrong here. I need help. You don't, tell her, all right, I'm going to stick around and I'll call somebody to help you. You bolt and you go out there. You make sure the situation is under
you check.
control.
You go, do you really need help? Like, what's the situation? Are you like, and she'll go, there's a noise in my car. And then you go, well, maybe you don't, maybe I don't need to spring into action like I'm Batman here. How about, would it be okay if, where are you? And, whatever.
Right.
I'll send a tow truck.
I mean, you guys know I'm certainly someone who likes to exaggerate a little bit, right? I'll bend the truth at times. I believe my girlfriend is 10 times worse than me when it comes to exaggerating situations.
Does she know what time you work?
2 to 6, I believe she's aware.
No, I'm just curious. I didn't know if she was aware that she was, taking you away in the middle of your workday or not.
Mm-hmm. She's here. I brought her here. If you want to grill her in the next segment,
she's at work with you.
Grill her like a Miami Sub sausage
to calm her down from this terrible, traumatic situation.
Well, her car got towed, bro. So where was she gonna go? Think I'm gonna let her? Right? But there's one car. I had to come back to work.
Uber.
Oh, Uber, Lyft. call a friend, phone a friend. There's a lot of options. Y'all panic. Y'all's panic isn't good together.
What is going on?
What are
I'm telling you,
talking
Solana,
about?
y'all
It was
listen.
in
Don't have no
Hollywood.
children.
We got
Don't
on
have no
95.
children. The baby's gonna fart, and y'all are both gonna go crazy.
I said, hey, come to work with me for an hour, and then we'll leave at 6. We'll go home together. We saved ourselves $45. I live down in Southwest Miami-Dade. I live in Kendall, bro.
She's like
I
that.
mean,
She's like, that's so cool. You only have to work an hour a day. Yeah, when I'm taking you to Miami subs during the workday.
Hawk, think about these two with children.
I can't even. Well, you remember they both went to the emergency room with jet lag. So this really it really does kind of fall into place as to how they approach things. God forbid they have a baby who's colicky. I mean, can you imagine? I mean, they're gonna be bringing in Doctors Without Borders.
can we wrap this segment up? Because I think Dan Day's flirting with her, so I got to go sort this situation.
He's gonna solve a problem better than you do.
All right, we'll discuss this more in the 5 o'clock hour, which is going to start a little bit late, but I'm glad we got to. I don't know if we call that the bottom of that, but we got to something. Someone texted in. Do you think maybe it was the oil? Has she changed her oil? Because that could be a loud noise under the hood if the oil's gone and it creates that loud knocking.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. But I actually made sure to check the oil. And I mean, come on, man.
There was something on the dipstick, like you know how to pull the dipstick out?
The what?
It shows you how much he knows about cars and how helpful he could have possibly been if he hears the word dipstick and he just giggles like a schoolgirl.
It's a child.
A what?
Did you check the oil?
Yeah, no, there was some Freon in the oil. Yeah, we're all good.
Solana, let me guess. She said it's a loud knocking. You said let me hear, and you co-signed that there's a loud knocking.
Right.
No, I'm telling you, I was able to get underneath the hood, and I made sure everything looked okay, how it's supposed to look, and I got underneath the car as well. I saw there was some stuff leaking from the car. I presumed it was oil, and when the tow truck driver arrived, he told me it was not oil, it's just water. And
the air conditioning.
Mm-hmm.
Like, honestly, did you really tell the tow truck driver that I think the oil's leaking?
Yeah, and he was very concerned, and then he assured me, no.
You could put your finger on it, and then you look at your finger. You could tell really quickly if it's oil or water.
Yeah, I'm not touching liquid on the ground. What the hell are you talking about, man?
Liquid.
Can you imagine calling this guy to help out?
I would have waved down somebody randomly before calling you.
Yeah, the guy, the hitchhiker from Something About Mary. That guy would have been more help.
7-minute abs.
You're in trouble when they come out with 6 minutes.
What do you mean? He's a 7-minute abs.
Can't even break a sweat in 6 minutes. It's all about 7.
Is your girlfriend in the studio?
She is.
Valentina.
She is ready to go.
We love the beautiful Valentina. Has Solana represented accurately what transpired this afternoon?
Kind of. Well, I was driving and I started hearing this very loud noise and my car started to shake. And I was leaving my esthetician's office and I was on 95 and I was freaking out because that's like the worst nightmare for me. Like, what do I do? I don't know how to change a tire. I don't know anything.
You call me
about cars.
Because so, like, you're helpless, you called someone more helpless?
He tells me all the time, just call me. I'm your boyfriend. Don't call your dad. Like, let me do the job.
All right. And so you hear this noise, you pull off to the side, you call him.
Yes.
And you say, babe, because you guys drop babes on each other all day long.
Yeah.
So you say, babe, what? I'm stranded on 95. I need your help.
Yeah. My car is not, like, it's making crazy noise. I need you to come here now. Please.
And so, and did you wait for him, or then you pulled it off into the next exit?
No. So I turned on my car. I'm like, let me see if I can like drive off. And then it started making the noise again. So I just stopped.
All right.
And
And
I
so
just
then you
waited.
just waited for him. You said once El Novio gets here, everything will be fine.
Exactly.
All right. And so then what does he do? He pulls up, he sees you, he finds you, and how does Solana spring into action?
So he's like, pop the hood open. I'm like, okay. So I look for it and I pop it. He goes to the front of the hood and he's like trying to like
He doesn't even
lift
know
it.
the.
He
And I'm
can't
like,
find
wait,
right. He can't find where
there
the
like
hook
a
is.
button that we have to press for it to open? And I'm looking and he's still looking at the front of the car. And I'm like, oh, look, I found it.
Wait,
And it
Solana,
opens.
you thought you could open the hood before popping something on the inside? Because don't you think people would just go around opening people's hoods and stealing engines?
I'm so proud of her. She's running a bit. I am so proud of her.
Is she lying?
I knew. I told her, pop
Okay.
the hood. Pop the hood.
So the hood opens and he's like holding it. And I'm like, he's like, try not to touch it because it's hot. And I'm like, hold on, there's like a stick here. Grab the stick and put it on.
This is unbelievable. Was it at that point that you regretted calling him? Because
was
now
like, what's
you're
the point
just
of
doing
calling you?
everything under the watchful eyes of your boyfriend.
I'm like, I should have done this.
Solana, you didn't know that there's a stick that comes up to brace I mean, most of them stay up on hinges now, but you didn't know that there was a stick that braces the hood?
Well, my hood stays up on a hinge. So I knew there was a stick for a car, but I couldn't find the stick. I thought it was on the side. It was actually in the middle.
It was right in
Wait
front
a
of me.
second. You couldn't find the stick?
Oh, they hide it in this.
They
hide it.
don't hide it.
They
No.
hide it.
It's the
Crowder, they
opposite.
hide it.
And Solana, what were you looking for?
I don't know. I gotta be honest.
Right, Valentina. So what happens? You finally get the roof open, and now what does he do?
He stares at it for like a couple minutes and then he's like, I think it's the vent.
Huh?
The fan.
The fan. I'm like, yeah, no, like it's like shaking and that's the only thing that's making the sound. He's like, okay, well, did you call the tow truck? I'm like, yeah, that's it.
That was
all
the
he did.
extent of- Wait, so when he opened the hood and he's looking at it for a couple minutes, does he kind of like, do this, or is like,
Yeah, he's trying to figure out, and I see him pull his phone out, and then he's like Googling, like, okay, loud noise coming from. He's like, babe, I think you might have an oil leak. And then he looks under the car. He gets on the ground and looks under. He's like, yep, oil leak.
Wait a second. Wait, Solana. Wait, on 105-degree day, where she's obviously got the air conditioner running and it's churning as best as it can.
Mm-hmm.
You see some water dripping out of the bottom of the car and you immediately designate, we have an oil leak.
Well, why the hell is the air conditioner leaking? That doesn't sound right. That doesn't sound like it's operating properly.
It's not leaking. It's just causing condensation.
Yeah. You ever heard that word before? Condensation?
So the tow truck driver comes up and he says, I think we have an oil leak here.
No, he says, I've never heard this sound before, so I can't tell you what's wrong with the car.
No, but Solana says to the tow truck driver, I think we have an oil leak. Like he's going to tell the tow truck driver what he's
what it is. Yeah.
Yeah. And the guy immediately was like, that's not oil.
No, so then he moves the car, right? He puts the car on top of the tow truck. And I'm like, you know what? I don't think it's oil. Let me go check. And I go look and it's like, babe, it's not oil. Because when it's oil, you see like the little different colors on the ground. He's like, wait, let me check. He puts his finger on the water. He's like, yeah, it's not oil, it's water.
At what point did you regret calling him? Because it really does sound like you did everything.
Letter grades, Valentina. What would you give him in this time of trouble?
To be honest with you, I'm glad that I'm here and not stuck out there still waiting.
So he got an A+.
Right, but
You got an
really,
A+.
had you not called him and waited for him to go through everything, you'd probably have been home for the last couple of hours.
That's right. I should have just called the tow truck on my own.
Right, but you
done
wouldn't
everything.
have had your onion rings at Miami Subs Grill. I mean, hold on a second here.
That is true.
You guys are totally
very
leaving
hungry.
out the most important part of this story. I bought us lunch at Miami Subs.
During our show. What did you have at Miami Subs, Valentina?
The chicken sandwich with onion rings.
What'd you have, Solana?
Yeah, normally I get a Philly cheesesteak, but I went chicken sandwich. I got the Nathan's fries. So good. Yeah.
All right. Well, we're thrilled that you're okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
And I think you've seen a little glimpse into your future. And now you'll have to make some sort of determination.
Valentina, get my son's, he's 11, get his number next time something goes wrong. Way more efficient than Solana.
What the hell was I supposed to do? Like, pull out my damn
Well,
wrench and get to work?
if you go there, like if your answer is what am I supposed to do, then what are you going there for?
Just to make sure that my girlfriend was okay. She was panicking. She's on the side of the road. She's by herself in Hollywood. She's not used to being there. And she needed help. She needed somebody to go and make sure she was going to be okay. I got the situation under control. And, I did what I had to do. And I pretended to know, like I knew what I was looking at when I opened up the hood. Because what the hell am I supposed to do? Get there and just sit in the car like a bunch of bozos? I Googled some stuff. I incorrectly assumed the car was leaking oil. That's on me. My bad, babe. And we got out of there. We're alive.
He's like, this isn't good. Your car is leaking oil.
He does a Google search, the car making noise. He immediately says, "Oh, no good. We got an oil leak." All of a sudden, he's in the pit crew. He's at a NASCAR race. I just want to get one more thing straight. You left work during a work day and then decided, hey, let's go grab some lunch at Miami Subs.
I mean, Hawk, there was a Miami Subs down the street. What was I supposed to do?
Ay vey. I mean, what an afternoon.
You got you one, Valentina. You got
You
you
do.
a winner.
You
have
do.
to
You got
show me
yourself
some
one.
way, somehow, like, let me get her some food, like after not doing anything for my car.
So when do you expect to? Why are you looking? You didn't do anything for her car. In fact, you misdiagnosed it. Like, not only did you not do anything, you almost created a panic when there was none. When will you hear something about your car?
Well, it just got there and then they're closed now. So we'll see tomorrow.
Actually, since you want to throw me under the bus, sweetie,
Me?
the address that they gave the tow truck driver right when we got to the Citadel here to our studios, he called her and he yelled. He was almost raised his voice a little bit. Actually, I'm at the address you sent me. It's a Colombian bakery. There is no auto shop here. And she said, no, there's an auto shop there. And he was adamant, there is no auto shop here. And that's where we're at right now. There's been no update since.
Perhaps he can get you some pan and bring it back to you there at the Citadel.
The answer's food to everything.
But would you acknowledge this, Solana? The guy obviously met you because you were there.
Mm-hmm.
And now he calls your girlfriend and just starts yelling at her. He doesn't have much respect for you.
No, that guy has no respect for me at all.
See, pie, pie.
Guys, no, it's not pie. Guys, especially tow truck drivers, like guys that know cars, when they're talking to another man that doesn't know cars, they immediately have like a superiority complex. Like immediately that makes you manlier than me. Like, oh, okay, you dedicated your life to cars. I have no problem against that. I happen to dedicate my life to talking into a mic. And I bet you wouldn't know how to put a show on. All right, jackass. So go ahead, lift the stupid car, do your job, and I'll go back and
it's not. It's job. Obviously they know what they're doing. I think where they get, where it rubs them the wrong way a little bit is when they pull up on a 105-degree day. They don't want to be out there, and they get sent on a wild goose chase because the guy says, "We've got a situation here. We've got an oil leak."
Mm-hmm. No, I could see why that would be frustrating for sure. But I was just trying to make him aware of a possible hazardous situation. That's all. And he's the professional. He shouldn't have taken my word for it. He should have done his due diligence. That's on
I
him.
think you did.
Solana, you should start a company. When people are on the side of the road, you pick them up and take them for chicken sandwiches and onion rings. That sounds great to me.
You're going to call AAA? Let me call Alejandro first. I'll put my order in. He'll come get me, and then the man will arrive with AAA and help out my car. I picture you just like, look, I can't even.
You know that nod he had when the hood went up.
You know the nod. It's kind of what I expected under here. But, Valentina, like, she's got it together. I mean, I don't know if people know, but, like, she's got it together. She's very studious, and she's determined. She had to have known the moment that he couldn't find how to keep the hood up that this was just a bad decision. Like, you know what I mean? I've told you, my wife sometimes will ask someone at Publix who I know just got to this country 5 weeks ago where the Yisquer candles are, which is so Jewish. Like, no one would. You could have worked at Publix for 7 years. You don't know where that is. And I immediately go, this was just a bad idea. I know this was a bad idea. And now we're down this road that we can't stop. And Valentina, the moment he's trying to open the hood without first having popped it from inside the car, it's just a cavalcade of moments where she's like, why did I call him?
She called
like, because you can see him holding the roof up
and he's
with his hand.
Right. But it's hot. So he's like doing this.
He's dancing with the hood.
So he believes he's got the one car where the hood will just fall. You got to hold it up yourself and diagnose, which is obviously tough for the mechanics who actually can only disassemble a part with one hand. They have to hold it up with another. They have to hire help.
Here's what I was hoping. There was like a loose piece of plastic or something inside under the hood, and I was just going to clip it right back on, and we were going to be on our way. I would have saved the day. So I open up the hood, and, I'm just touching things. You kind of just feel around, see if there's anything loose. And nothing happened. The sound just persisted. It didn't stop.
Oh, we didn't know, Hawk. Valentina drives a Lego car. He was just going to click a Lego into place and everything was going to be fine. You didn't tell us she drives a Lego car.
So you thought that you would drive to her in an emergency situation. Mm-hmm. You would pet the engine and it would stop making noise.
I mean, you got to give something a shot, right? I drove out there, but like, what? I drove all the way out there, drove all the way to Hollywood. I was gonna pop that engine open or that hood open and just look at it, at least, like pretend like I knew what I was doing.
Valentina, which point did you know this was a bad decision to call him?
When he was trying to open the hood.
So you can just picture him trying to lift the hood going,
like,
well, I can tell you what the problem is right now. We can't get the hood open. Everything has fallen apart in this car.
And I pressed the button and he still couldn't open the hood.
Right. So he couldn't find the little latch. But it sounds like you actually knew everything that needed to be done. You knew to pop the hood. You knew that there was a little stick that would hold the hood up. You knew that it wasn't an oil leak.
I'm not sure.
Great.
Boy, you got your winner, Valentina.
What a tremendous afternoon. Did he make you pay for lunch?
No, he got that.
I drove all the way over here. What are you saying I'm paying?
Oh, my God. All right. Anybody else have any more questions for Valentina, or should we move on?
Stick with me.
Petting the engine. He thought the engine had a headache. He just wanted, just relax. He gave it hypnosis. Just relax.
The engine was made of plastic. He said a plastic piece.
But don't you feel like we're a little behind in terms of advancements and technology and automobiles? Like, I realized that as soon as I opened up the hood today, there's way too much happening underneath that hood. Like, we still have engines. We still have, I don't know, like, there's like 3 compartments. And why? Just make the car go
Right.
and stop.
Right.
Right? Like, what are we
Turn into
doing?
one compartment.
Mm-hmm.
Can you imagine driving by on 95 and seeing a guy who's doing this to the roof because it's burning his hand, but he doesn't realize that there's a stick that'll hold it up. So he's constantly taking his hand off it real quick so that his hand doesn't burn. And he's probably thinking to himself, boy, these mechanics are something, man. They'll come here and they'll probably just hold this roof up and they'll suffer through the burn, but they'll get the problem solved.
Yeah, special Solana.
What's
Oh,
Eduardo gonna say about this?
Well, I called him and I said, because I know we have AAA in the family. So I said, hey, what's the AAA number? And he's like, no, you need your own card. And he hung up. And that's it. That was the conversation.
Wow. Thanks,
Yeah.
Ed.
You need, this is my card. You need your own card. And that's it. He's like, yeah, I'm eating. And he hung up. And that was it. That was the conversation.
Somebody texts in. Now we know why he was waitlisted at UCF. You missed that yesterday. The only person on the planet who's ever been waitlisted at UCF is the executive producer of this show.
They don't even have one, do they?
They don't. That's what I was saying yesterday. I'm going, hey, Bob, do we have any kind of wait list? No, not yet. No, we haven't done one. They have 60,000 students there. Dude, they're like,
It's on a napkin.
they're like, yeah, send them a napkin. Says, just have it say, hold on.
Yeah, up for grabs. This UCS up for grabs, Mom.
Oh, man, that is a great story. All right, we have no time for Mike Cunha anymore, but glad you are safe and sound, Valentina. We are all rooting for your car.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you for joining the show, by the way. You're welcome. And he said that to her on site after the tow truck pulled away. He's like, you're like a hero, you're welcome.
Yeah. Oh, at Miami Grill? Oh, my goodness.
It just kept talking about himself.
Yeah. Can you grab me another drink? I'm parched. Huh?
Listen, for the rest of the week, call me Sully.
Figured this thing out.
Oh, my God. That is tremendous. That is really great.